Howdy, partners. Welcome back to IIRL Racing League. I'm not doing this voice. I thought it was funny. It's probably not. If I've offended you, I'm very sorry. Welcome back to IIRL Racing League. Live on Twitch. Howdy indeed. Hello Alpha Matty. Hello Snacks. Hello everyone else. Hope you're all really well. Once again, another stream for you. Here with the Assist Tier 2 bunch, plus some added friends. We've got some of the AT1 guys reserving as well tonight. You might think, well, how is that fair then? Assist Tier 1 and Assist Tier 2 mixed together? Well, the Assist Tier 1 drivers can set lap times, but only if they're invalidated. They'll be starting at the back in qualifying, and they're allowed to race in the actual Grand Prix, but at the end of the Grand Prix, they will be dropped to the back of the classified runners. So that way, the Assist Tier 2 Championship is still authentic, and the Assist Tier 1 can make up the numbers and have a fun race himself, hopefully. So that is the deal. 17 strong here tonight. However, without a few familiar faces, it would have obviously been a lot less, and the race probably wouldn't have been as good. So now that the housekeeping's out the way, I hope you're all really well. Evening Padge, evening Rids, evening Chelsea. This Tier 2 Championship could be decided here tonight. Once my computer loads what I'm looking for, being slow as me on a racetrack. Evening Goldilocks, how you doing? I hope you're well. It's going to be a fun race tonight, I can feel it. Unpredictability is in the air. I can still hear a few people in the party, and I'm trying not to laugh at what they're saying. Goodness, can my computer actually load? It is not doing anything. Exclamation mark standings in the chat so you can keep up to date on Hissy's potential title-winning drive here tonight. For more information about our league, exclamation mark IIRL in the chat too. Should give you as much information as you need. If you need any more, as always, let us know in the chat. Loisy then starts the first flying lap of Assist Tier 2 here in Mexico, round 20 of 22, starting off with a beautiful triple chicane, turns 1, 2 and 3, easy to go side by side, so expect to see some overtakes into turn 1. DRS down the main straight, plus that little straight into turn 4 and turn 5. Again, another action point. We've already seen drivers go side by side in this section of the track for the double right apex of turn 6 into a spot of the track where side by side really isn't that realistic. Turns 7, 8, 9 and 10, and out of 11 you get some nice DRS. But this is just to keep you close enough into this final sector, very famous stadium section through the hairpin of turn 13. Very tricky section, don't go side by side here, not realistic at all. And get a good exit out of the final corner on the way down to the line, and Bloisy sets the pace. My computer really does not like me today. I cannot load anything. And I'm not even sure if my chat's updating either, so this could be fun. We'll leave Ross alone. He's not important here tonight. So Hissy then, the man of the hour, or the man of the 2 hours, can win here tonight. Evening, I see Ross driving, this doesn't seem fair. I'll explain again. To make up the numbers, some assist tier 1 drivers are reserving tonight. Nice little slide there from Hissy, keeps it on the grey stuff. However, they're not allowed to set a valid lap time in Q1, so they're starting at the back. They are allowed to race in the Grand Prix, but if they finish ahead of any 82 drivers in the Grand Prix, they will be dropped to the back of the classified runners. That way, our 82 championship is authentic and fair, and hopefully, we haven't any complaints about it yet. So, for instance, last season, myself, Ross, and Prev reserved at Monza. Me and Ross finished at the back anyway. Prev won the race. The race win doesn't count for Prev. He got dropped to, I think it was 8th. So, yeah. It is fair, don't worry. But the question remains, how many places will Ross gain off the start? You would ask to join, but you hate Mexico. I have not seen anything that you hate Mexico in Discord this week. Wink, wink. Deflated wee. Oh, there's a Red Bull sideways. That will most probably be Aki. I think he's the only Red Bull here tonight. So I think Aki on the second run. Or maybe Karma, actually. One of them two. Bonjour, Josh. Hope you're well. Nice to see you. So, with 3 rounds remaining, and with the sprint race in Brazil next week giving us a total of 8 points, there are 86 points left up for grabs. And Hissy is currently 77 ahead of Alpha Matti, which means if Hissy doesn't even need to score points tonight, Alpha Matti needs to win and reduce the gap to... Oh gosh, I'm trying to do quick maths in my head. I should have worked this out before. You complaining in Discord? I could never. Interesting. We just needed a laughing emoji on the end of that. I'm still trying to do maths and my brain is not working today. Right, 52, 60. Okay, so Alpha Matti needs to outscore Hissy by 18 points. So Alpha Matti needs to finish either first or second and hope that Hissy does not score. If Alpha Matti wins, Hissy needs 8 points or more, 9 to be completely certain of the title. So really, if Hissy finishes 5th or higher, or 6th with the fastest lap, he will be the champion tonight. Looking increasingly likely. As we see in Alfa Romeo, just a little bit sideways, that will be Bloisy. Currently first on the leaderboard. As for the constructors, it's a bit more close. Ferrari lead AlphaTauri by 25 points. That's it. Not possible for Ferrari to win tonight. However, a good opportunity for them. Obviously, with Padge in a Ferrari, he won't. It's not likely he'll be scoring points tonight. So Hissi is probably the only Ferrari who will be in the points this evening. As Deton gone for a bit of a spin out of turn 3. Snacks and Ross, I believe, are on heavy fuel. Just getting some race practice in there. AlphaTauri, of course, led by Alpha Matti, only has one driver in their car tonight, so it's really just a two-horse race between Alpha Matti and Hissi for the drivers and the constructors here tonight. Oh, Snacks goes for a bit of a spin using those hard tyres. I'm sure he will not thank me for getting that on stream. He says he doesn't care. Could have gone 9th with the lap I would have just done, but James White got in the way out of the 3rd DRS zone. That is a shame. I'm sure, Chelsea, you can do that. Only a couple of tenths to P9, so all the best, obviously, for the race. How many 81 drivers are there tonight? We have Ross, we have Snacks, we have Padge. That is it. Everyone else is allowed to set a lap. Ross, blisteringly quick. 20 miles an hour across the line to set a 125.7. Gosh, what a lap. So, if you're in the Discord, you would have seen already. Hopefully, anyway, fingers crossed. But if you haven't and you're not aware, you can sign up for Season 4 in the Discord right now. We have sign up for full-time no-assist driver, reserve no-assist driver, full-time assist tier driver, that'll be either Tier 1 or Tier 2, and a reserve assist tier driver, again, 1 or 2. So, if you haven't done that already, and you want to sign up for Season 4, make sure you do that in the Discord. Sign up will remain in there for a number of weeks, so it's not urgent. If you don't know right now, can't commit to it and all that, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to do that, then now is your opportunity. Ross there did a 1:21. Even so, he still would be 14th. What a slow person indeed. So really, with the 3 assist tier 1 drivers dropping out at the back of qualifying, really everyone's going to make it through. There's no pressure on anyone here, unless of course they don't know about what's going on. Hopefully everyone's aware. TJ invalidates this one, just running over the exit curb at turn 11. Patchy on a slow lap right now, Deton 2. What about Aryo? It's slow first sector, so potentially not on a flyer. Tay really is the one to look out for. He is a normal assist tier 2 driver. I love how Ross and Snacks are just driving round. Use tyres after screwing the first lap up? Yes, Snaz, exclamation mark, standings in the chat. And you're looking for the assist tier 2 bunch. Tell them to retire. They won't beat you, Chelsea. If they do, I'll be having words. We got all 3 managers in this lobby, so don't worry. It's alright, they'll be sitting there for half an hour anyway, Chelsea, not doing quali, so we can allow them a few practice laps in there. Knowing Ross, he'll probably go on YouTube for 20 minutes. And then come back and still probably win. He's ridiculous, honestly. Scenes when Ross has to be booted out of Zona because he did a lap. Well, hopefully, taking it, even if it's just a valid lap that's quicker than a 125, or actually quicker than a 130, only the bottom 2 will drop out. So all Tay needs to do really is set a valid lap time that's relatively competitive, and he's through. Can they go a lap down at the start? Honestly, TJ, it's not. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because they'll be dropped to the back of the. They won't get any points after the race, basically, and everyone that's beneath them in the standings will go up. So, yeah, don't worry about it. Come on, Tay, let's have an overly brisk lap. You know what? Let's put more pressure on Tay and go on board. I'm sure Tay knows what's going on. And you can see that Snacks and Ross have done pretty slow lap times. Oh, let's hope not, Chelsea. Just the one rule for Tay is don't invalidate. As Padge does an absolutely fantastic 1 minute 28.9. Oh, I feel the pressure. Just don't cut a corner, Tay. Currently Bloisey is top of the charts on a 17.4. Aki on a 17.5, Novatech 17.6, Hissy 17.7, and a couple of drivers, Aryo and James White, on a 17.8. Tay does a 19.0, and it doesn't really matter that he is behind Chelsea because he will be going through to Q2. Ross hasn't invalidated his lap. Hopefully it is a very slow one. Anti-pits. Thankfully. Padge and Snacks having a lovely little afternoon Sunday drive here in Mexico, as you do. Just book a plane ticket, buy a Formula 1 car, get it shipped and set up in Mexico. Go out for a bit of a drive with a good friend of his. I have to say that's the best line through turn 3 I've ever seen from Snacks there. What a guy. Checker flag has fallen, doesn't really matter. Snacks looks like he's about to take out Padge. Oh. Oh, what an overtake. Snacks gets it done. Padge is fighting back. Snacks must have no No straight line speed at all in that setup. Oh, and he's cut a corner too. Oh, and he's spun! Oh, what a legend. Do some donuts for us while you're there. Oh, Padge did a personal best there. Oh no, he didn't. It's just a lap delta issue. There we go. We hope so. Deflated. We hope Ross will do some donuts tonight. Once he knows that you're asking for them. So there we go. Snacks, Padge, Ross obviously will be starting at the back of the grids. As for the other ones, top 14, this is really now their qualifying session. Does Alpha Matty have to win to stay in contention for the championship? Yes, he does, Snaz. He needs to. If he finishes second, he needs to hope Hissy doesn't score. Or if he finishes first, he needs to hope that Hissy finishes either 7th or lower. So really, for Hissy, all we should be concerned about is finishing 6th or higher. 5th to make absolutely certain. So really, the ball is in Hissy's court. Even if Hissy fails to score and Alpha Matty wins tonight, it's still a very tall order. Hissy just needs to finish 6th or 5th in the next race as well. So really, it would be a massive miracle. Think of it this way: a football team's down 4-0 at half-time. It's very possible to come back and win, but it is very unlikely. Ross should crash to keep him out of Q2. That would have been a good idea, actually. Maybe he can crash on his outlap. That's a good point, actually. Then he'll get a penalty for crashing out on purpose from the stewards. Oh, Deaton there. Bit of a spin on the outlap there. So Q2, floods of cars out already. Only one still in the pits. That's TJ. Mason, sorry, in the Mercedes coming out of the pits now. Loisy, quick out the blocks though. Will be the first to start the flying lap. So Tier 2, always very competitive, especially in qualifying. We'd like to make sure that there are drivers in this tier that aren't too quick. There's a lot of congestion going through Sector 3 now. There's Novatech just backing Karma up. In Sector 3. So this is what it feels like. Yes, it is. I am very used to it. He can do donuts now. He could. He could. Maybe at the end of Q2 we'll get some donuts from Ross. There's a Haas going slowly in Sector 3. That'll be Tay on his outlap. So Q2, 15 minutes. Bottom 5 will be dropping out. We know Ross will be 15th anyway. So bottom 4 for these 82 drivers. Bloisy does a 17.8. About 4 and a bit tenths slower than what he managed in Q1. So we do know Bloisy can go a little bit faster than that. as Apache in the McLaren getting out of the way of Karma. As Hissy goes fastest on the medium compound tyre. Nice lap there, 17.7. Novatec then goes fastest on a 17.5. Upcoming Karma does a 17.9. Aki slots into third on a 17.8. And IIRL is currently bottom of the timing screens with an 18.5. However, Deton takes that title away as James White goes quickest. So 17.3, fastest we've seen so far tonight. Chelsea 17.5, pretty good there, ahead of Novatec. That's no easy feat. As here comes Mason on a 17.9, currently good enough for P7. And TJ, the last out of the pits for the first runs. That's Ross there, that's an awful corner cut. Let's kick him out of the league now. What a dirty driver. Who is going to win the World Cup? That is an interesting question. You know what, chat? Let's leave it to you. Who do you think? Obviously, we know the semi-final matchups. Argentina versus Croatia and Morocco versus France. Alfa Matti. That's not Alfa Matti, that's an Alfa Romeo. That's a nice little glitch there. Alfa Matti goes quickest on a 17.2. And you'd think that anything in the mid to early 17s will be good enough to get you through. 1 minute 17 doesn't mean you're safe though. You can see upcoming Karma there on a 17.9, currently in P9. And we're still waiting on Steely, Patchy and Tay to set valid lap times. TJ then goes into 7th place and goes 2 milliseconds ahead of his teammate. Nice little battle there going on in the Alfa Romeo garage. Tay coming to the end of his first flying lap. Deton ducks into the pits. Currently in 13th. Tay not safe at the moment, 18.3. Upcoming Karma is the time to beat for safety. Hissy, the only one currently, aside from Ross of course, but he doesn't count, to use those medium tyres. I don't know how the hell I got up there. That lap felt so scrappy. Sometimes you have a scrappy lap and it's actually quick. Sometimes you feel you're quick and it's not where you thought it'd be. It's strange, but if you felt it was scrappy, either you're on the very edge of what you can manage, or maybe there's some time in it for you. So, but I'd say Chelsea, that's probably pretty good to get you through to Q3. Apache does an 18.6, currently in 13th. Croatia going to win the World Cup? Possibly. I wouldn't bet against them, but they do have to get through France and Argentina, which would be a very tall task, I think. I don't know. I don't think Argentina have enough as a team to beat France, but anything can happen, as this World Cup has already shown. So I don't want to predict who's going to win. Imagine the scenes if Morocco won, definitely. Azaki goes fastest on a 17.2. Upcoming Karma then is the time to beat. I'm sure Karma will want to make the time to beat somebody else's, more specifically Mason, who is only just fractionally ahead at this time. Aryo has improved to an 18-0, so not too far away here from challenging for a spot in Q3 as Karma goes through the Sector 2 split 4/10 to the good. That will put him on a 17-5 and most likely to head through. It's a 17-3 and goes third. Nice little lap there, ahead of James White. So upcoming Karma could be pretty happy with that run. Aryo comes back into the pits as Bloisy has improved a few moments ago to do a 17-4, which he managed in Q1. How am I getting on with the wheel? If I'm honest, I haven't practiced in about 2 weeks. So, yeah. I know I probably should have at least done some kind of practice, but at the moment, the phrase CBA comes to mind. Slacking, yeah. Yeah. I'm just more interested in other games at the moment. But potentially, you might see me on chat for Season 4. Novatech then said in the chat he will go for another run. Here is his second run. On a lap as we speak. France will win, Rabiot is the GOAT. Not too sure about that, but whatever floats your goat. That's a whole nother topic, who the greatest of all time is in the football world. That will definitely divide opinion. So we've got Hissy out there on a lap. We've got Apache D-Tom back out on track 2. Ross is still going around doing invalid lap times. What a trooper. And if he doesn't do any donuts, then you have permission to call him a poo-poo head in the Discord. Novatech then does the first 1 minute 16 of our assist tier 2 qualifying. And that will most likely put him through to Q3. Time to beat is now TJ, as upcoming Karma improved. Another run, says Chelsea. Used set. Interesting stuff. So 2 minutes left. Top 4 will definitely be safe. Probably James White and Hissy safe as well. D-Ton has popped in there in P9 with a 17.5. That's a nice little lap. Oh, it was Apache just losing the rear there. You could see through a couple of... Oh, and that's retired on track. That's a bit naughty. My Xbox hates me. I cannot clip it. We can clip it from stream, it's fine. Taylor under pressure, 18.3 at the moment. Time to beat is 5 tenths quicker. And coming to the end of his outlap. You can tell that because the battery bar in the bottom left of the telemetry is still at 99%. So Tay sets off for a new flying run. IIRL just coming to the end of an outlap. Mason as well. TJ then is the time to beat at the moment, 17.8. Has a 3/10 buffer. If he wants to improve on his 10th place position. This could be mighty close. TJ then. 2 tenths to the good. Still needs another 10th in this final sector. If he wants to possibly put Deaton and Chelsea under a bit more pressure, which I'm sure TJ will be aiming to do. So it all seems well out of the final corner, taking a nice tight line, and it's a 17.8, so he's obviously lost a couple of tenths there in that final sector, and it might put him under pressure here as Mason is half a second down. Has had quite a poor lap through this middle sector. So Mason here may not be able to improve at all. And this could be the last we see of Mason in qualifying. And indeed, he goes into the pits and will be leaving us in Q2. Tay has improved to P8 and puts Chelsea as the time to beat. IIRL comes across the line and does an 18.0 and cannot get himself out of qualifying. TJ here is on a slow lap too, so TJ will be out, joining Mason, IIRL, Apache, and obviously Ross, who is doing some donuts. Have a look at Ross's Christmas helmet design. He was badgering me earlier to include it. It's the one time we're going to see it. Drink it in. 10 laps on those mediums. Pretty nice stuff there, Ross. So then, Novatech, the only driver in the 1:16s, could be a realistic shot for pole position here tonight. Aki and Alpha Matti doing pretty well at the moment. Obviously, Alpha Matti needs to win, or at least finish second at the very minimum, to keep the championship alive. If Alpha Matti finishes third or below here this evening, Hissy will win regardless of where he finishes. And that top 10 separated by only 6 tenths. We said it was going to be close. Can't get too much closer than that. As TJ, Mason, IIRL and Apache head out of Q2. Oh, Ross cracks me up. He said, "Oh, I was so close to getting through." If only he wasn't 20 seconds off the pace. Happy with the time he set. Could have been a lot better without the Tokyo Drift. But I'll have to wait and see if you can pull the lap together in Q3 Novatech. Unlucky TJ. Don't worry about it. It's not too bad place to be. you can avoid some potential incidents into turn 1. Could find yourself making some moves up the field. Rost. He's washed. he was on a full tank. He could have been. So Q3 starts, and you can definitely tell 5 drivers coming out at the same time. Rain in 10, says Chelsea. Very interesting stuff. As who is the first? Chelsea is out. In case you missed it earlier, announcement Season 4 sign-up is in Discord at the moment. It'll be out for probably a few weeks now. We have a lot more information about Season 4 dropping soon. Bits we can tell you right now. It'll be an 18-race season. And all of the tracks will be included in a random track draw. First 18 tracks to be selected will be the tracks we race at next season, and in the same order. So we're not going to have the standard Bahrain first, Abu Dhabi last. It could be any track in any order. We could have Monaco as the final race. We could have Abu Dhabi as the first race. It is all random. The teams will be selected in a driver draw as normal, and that is where the track draw will happen as well. So around about a week before Season 4 starting in February next year, we will be having a driver draw and a track draw, and you don't want to miss it. Honestly, you don't want to miss it. At the end of Season 3, of course, we will be having our award stream return. Everyone was very happy to have an award stream return for Season 3, so that will be happening. We'll get confirmation of that date and time in Discord. Evening, Akaris. I hope you're well, buddy. Drivers coming to the end of their first runs in Q3. Loisy does a 16.9, matches Novatek of the fastest lap time we've seen here this evening. Chelsea does a 17.8 and Karma does a 17.6. What about Deton? Round the final corner. Does a 17.3. That's his personal best. As Hissy does his personal best of the night, a 17.1. But what can Novatek do? Sedev could have gone a bit quicker than the 16.9, and that's a 16.8. That is indeed quicker. And goes provisional pole in the early stages. Best quote of the season? I don't know, Snacks. You let me know what the best quote of the season is. We have James White and Tay finishing off lap times, as I believe it's raining. It is. There's some rain on my screen. I was not paying enough attention. James White pops in there with the fastest lap time we've seen this evening, and it's come out of nowhere. A 16.7. Wowzers. Alpha Matti on track now for an outlap. Aki going for his first flying run, and with the rain starting to fall, this could be all she wrote. This could be the order in which the drivers line up on the grid. Obviously, as the rain falls, the grip disappears, and the lap times they're going to be setting are going to be slower. It's me, Yukari, Sun God, as Aki goes 6th and cannot force his way to repeat his personal best from last session. Is this track too wet to improve your lap time? Obviously, Tay could probably improve that 1 minute 23. But Alpha Matti, who needs to win or finish second here tonight, might not even be in the top 9 or 10. 8 or 9, sorry. Might be 10th or 9th on the grid. Tay has improved to an 18.3, but stays in P9 as Novatek retires from the session, so he won't be getting pole for another race in a row. The streak has stopped. Hey Kate, I hope you're well, good evening. And DRS is no more. That's for all drivers on all lap times. So even if Alpha Matti can set a good lap time here in the conditions without the aid of DRS, this is kind of looking pretty much resigned to a P10 start. Five minutes left, but I don't think it will really matter. So Alpha Matti, what can he do out of this final corner? You can see how much the car is shifting and sliding under acceleration. It's a 1 minute 20. So I doubt anyone really is going to get any improvements now in the next 5 minutes. We got 6, 7 drivers in the pits. Novatek has retired. Tay obviously not going to improve on that lap. What about Bloise? He's into the pits. And we could have a very abrupt end to Q3 here. And I'm certainly not expecting... Oh, as Alpha Matti's in the wall. And thankfully, from his point of view, he weren't on board to see that. Oh, you can really see how tough these conditions are. That was a whopper. I wonder if we're going to get some fake donuts. Doesn't really matter here if Alpha Matti crashes. He's the only one out on track, so we'll let it off. Oh, he's doing some donuts. That's people in the party are trolling me so much. But nice to see some donuts. Some important information while we are discussing Season 4. Next week we are at Brazil for the sprint race format race. That'll be a short qualifying session for all, 18 minutes, that's it, one qualifying session. Then we will have a sprint race, and then we will have a feature race. There are 8 points up for grabs in the sprint race, full 26 on offer in the feature race. That'll be happening every race next week. On Tuesday, no assist, Thursday, assist tier 1, and next Sunday for assist tier 2. Then we will have a 2-week break from racing for Christmas holidays. And then for the final race of the season, Abu Dhabi, that will be the first week of January. And then after that, we'll have a couple of weeks break while we set up for Season 4. We'll have the award stream, we'll have the reveal stream, and then we'll get going with, we don't even know what track yet. But all details will be posted in Discord. Make sure, especially now towards the latter end of this season, that you are keeping your eye on Discord. A lot of stuff for Season 4 will be decided in the next few weeks. So make sure you are active in Discord. If you have any questions, feel free to ask away. Just at one of the management, me, Sungod, Padge, or Ross. And hopefully, we will see you in Season 4. A 5-minute break now, of course, before the Mexican Grand Prix. I might end up with I'm in a Williams again. Gosh. I hope not. A Williams. Yes. Not sure what that is. We've got to have Portugal next season. It will be a random draw. Portugal and China will be in that list. So, yeah, they will be in the list. They could be on the calendar. We'll have to wait and see. Have a good one. Just checking in to say hi. See you later, says Akaris. I hope you are, mate. Have a fantastic one. Chelsea's first and only dub. So, let's have a look at feature driver. Are we missing anyone? It says here, we haven't done Alpha Mati. This is a perfect chance to do Alpha Mati's feature driver form. So, feature driver, in case you're not too aware, or have never heard of it before, it's one thing we do here in IRL, chance to get to know some of the drivers a bit better. Alpha Mati then asked his age. He said too old. Make of that what you will. You are as old as you feel. From Spain. Not too sure whereabouts in Spain, but he is from Spain. He works in IT, and his dream job will be to love working with electronics, like PCs, things like that. Hobbies or interests. He enjoys playing video games with friends, as we are doing tonight. We're all friends here. Racing on a wheel, Logitech G920. Favourite drivers of all time, Senna and Jason Plato. And best track on the calendar is France. His racing strengths are race pace and strategy, hoping for some wins or podiums this season, which he has already got, and considers upcoming Karma an IRL rival. Alpha Mati's stats, 31 races down now in this league, 3 pole positions, 4 race wins, 6 podiums, 21 points finishes, and almost at 250 points. And because I'm an awesome streamer, I'm pretty sure I've read that out last week. Oh well. So then, no formation lap for tonight's Mexican Grand Prix. Hopefully these issues are fixed, and maybe for Season 4 we might review things and just see if formation lap actually works, or if it's a similar story as before. Only a couple of minutes away from starting. At the moment, formation lap is still broken. I believe it is broken, yes. But yeah. It seems like only some are affected by the issues caused by the formation lap, which obviously is a shame for those drivers, but for those who it doesn't affect, obviously they will naturally want the formation lap turned back on. James White then on pole position for possibly the first time. And yes, I believe it is James White's first ever IRL pole position. Have a great stream. Thank you. We have already had a great stream. I have been able to make fun of Ross on the stream, that is valuable in itself. Good luck, everyone. Hope I get away with at least the first lap, no spins. Fingers crossed. Obviously, best of luck to all the drivers here tonight. Just a reminder, for Padge, Snacks and Ross at the back of the field, they are allowed to race these drivers, but at the end of the race, they will drop down, regardless of where they finish. If they finish last, if they finish first, they will drop down to the back of the classified runners. Probably not scoring any points tonight, which means for all of the AT2 drivers tonight, best if you're not having a brilliant race, just finish, and that way you're going to get at least 3 positions. So not too sure how much longer we're waiting, but the race should be happening very shortly. Just hoping to keep the nose clean into turn 1, and the strat should work. Q getting nailed into turn 1. Fingers crossed, not Chelsea. But it's a very wide track into turn 1. Turn 2 and turn 3, it gets a lot narrower. So we might see 3 wide into turn 1, but then we won't see any 3 wide into turn 2 and 3. So hopefully we can keep it all clean. Hopefully we'll get as much action in the race, but hopefully we'll catch as much of the action on the stream as well. Good luck, says Chelsea. I echo that to all the drivers. So James White, first time leading the pack away on the race in IIRL, and the Mexican Grand Prix, 36 laps is underway. Looks like Padge is just slowing down a little bit to let drivers through. Novatek, decent start, pulling out almost alongside James White. We have an AlphaTauri of Alpha Matti jostling for position. Oh, there's contact in the back. Oh, and that's a big accident. I don't know who. I think it was Deton. Someone was sideways. I think there's a person. No one's spun. It looked like there was a car spun in the background, but no. But certainly, I need to have another look at that. As TJ Steely gets a 5-second time penalty off the back for a corner cut. But Alpha Matti ghosted, so possibly some contact with someone. There's a lot of jostling for position. Ross is already up to 9th, going side by side with Apache, going off the track to keep that place. James White has fallen to P3. Novatek is now your race leader, but Novatek and Bloisy on the soft compound tyre, so looking very likely that those two will be doing a 2-stop strategy. James White on the mediums, as is TJ. The rest of the pack are on the hard compound tyres. Count them all 13 of them doing what could be identical tyre strategies. There's Chelsea here trying to get down the inside of Hissy. Hissy leaving the room. Of course, Hissy doesn't need to lead this race. He doesn't need to win this race. Just needs to finish 5th or higher to guarantee the championship here tonight. Obviously, Alpha Matti needs to finish either 1st or 2nd, and currently he is in 8th. Novatek and Bloisy pulling out a pretty substantial gap for lap 2 on James White. Those soft tyres are really working in their favour right now, as down at the back we have a yellow flag for Snacks, and Chelsea is off as well. It's had a bit of contact with the barrier. You saw it there live. As Novatek comes around to start lap 3, DRS is now enabled. You won't be able to have DRS down this main straight of lap 3, or into turn 4 because the DRS detection zone for both straights is in the final sector. So the first bit of DRS that these leaders are going to get is out of the S section. Deton looking for a move down the inside of Tay. Obviously, as we said, no DRS right now. Deton might be a little bit better off just waiting for some DRS, as here comes Ross alongside Alpha Matti, taking the long route rounds. All seems pretty clean, and Ross has to slot in behind Alpha. May as well retire. No, Chelsea, you may not as well retire. You're definitely going to get 3 places on Ross, Snacks and Padge. And if a safety car comes out, you are right back in this race. So I say this to all the drivers, not too much point retiring at this stage. So gaps starting to form then. Novatek and Bloisy pretty close there. You can see going through turn 2 as we speak. James White is 2.5 seconds off of the top 2. Aki a further 2.5 seconds back. Hissy a further 2.5 seconds back. And then IIRL is just over a second behind, leading this group of Alpha Matti, Ross, TJ, Apache, where all of these drivers are in the points. Tay fighting with Mason as Mason breaks late, fully alongside, has the inside for turn 4 but the outside for turn 5, and that is the slight disadvantage. Has to just slot in there, as here comes Deton in the Alpine alongside, but has the worst line here. Deton off track, trying to overtake, slots in behind. Nice racing there between a pair of them. There's upcoming Karma. Not too sure when he drops to the back of the field there, but is fighting Deton. Oh, has to just lift off there. Quite enough space to go side by side. Snacks and Padge in the background doing really well not to get in the way of these AT2 drivers. Obviously they are free to race them, but last thing they want to do is crash anyone out. As Padge goes down the inside with the DRS on upcoming Karma. Snacks, sorry. So used to seeing Padge in that McLaren. Lap 5 of 36. Novatek and Bloisy as Padge goes off track and gets a time penalty. Those soft tyres are going to start to deteriorate around now. Those 4 laps have been good to them. 3-second advantage over James White, but in the next few moments those soft tyres are going to be slower than James's mediums. So in the next few laps we will be seeing pit stops for the top 2, and we can only assume on a 2-stop they'll be going on to a couple of sets of mediums. If they go onto a set of hard compound tyres, then they might be trying a 1-stop, but it will be a little bit risky. Here comes Alpha Matti now out of turn 3. Ross has the DRS 2. These two having a nice little fight here, as Alpha Matti seems to squeeze Ross a little bit. Ross backs out. Apache with a time penalty, currently running 10th. As Ross is seems to be a little bit more comfortable on his hard tyres. No way through into turn 12. Bloisy is getting closer here. Maybe those soft tyres have started to hit a cliff. James White now consistently 3 seconds behind these two, so Ayo Alpha Mati going side by side. Plenty of position changes going into turn 1, and out of turn 3 there's going to be more. TJ looking to get in on the act as well. He's got a set of medium compound tyres. They look to go 3 wide. Ayo brakes later. Ross though round the outside, nice move there. And these three still fighting. Alpha Mati trying to force his way around the outside. Bit of contact. Oh, and he's spun. Oh, he's managed to keep it somewhat. But he has fallen down to 11th now. Yeah, it looked a very close fight there. Moves like that, you're just waiting for someone to either go off track or have a spin or have a crash. Very hard to go 2 or 3 wide at points on this track. As Bloisy now with the DRS goes down the inside of Novatek. Oh, and Novatek has been spun around a little bit there. We didn't have the angle to see exactly what happened, but it looked like Bloisy was going around the outside of turn 2. And who knows if there was space for Novatek that Bloisy left, but certainly Novatek has lost out on good 3 or 4 seconds. James White has gone into P2. And with that incident, James White has gained another half a second on Bloisy here. James White might have chosen a very good strategy, but obviously with Aki on the hard tyres now, he's going to have to use a quicker set of tyres in the second stint, so it'd be interesting to see if Aki can close in on James White in the second stint of the race. Still all to play for here, lap 8 of 36. A safety car could still come out at any point in this race as Novatek pits. Soft tyres lasting 8 laps, and Novatek is onto a set of medium compound tyres, which means that is a confirmed 2-stop. And pressure is now on Novatek to try and make the most of those mediums. You can just see him in the background coming out of the pits. You can see on your track map there, he's just come out behind Padge. So Novatek on new tyres will have a distinct grip advantage at the moment, and for the next 10 or so laps until their next pit stop. Ross is making his way up the field, as I'm sure everyone here has predicted. He's up to 5th already. That's got the time penalty though. It's something you don't see very often as Bloisy pits from the lead. He'll be pitting to cover off Novatek's pit stop. As Alpha Mati looking to get past Tate. This is the battle for 9th or 8th, shall we say now, as Bloisy pits. Ross is past Hissy, and due to the 2 pit stops out in front, is now up into P3. Snacks has retired in the pits, so everyone will be bumped up a position if they're not already. Alpha Matti runs wide slightly. Battle for P8. This is getting pretty intense here between Tay, Alpha Matti, Mason, Bloisy is in this group as well. Novatek is only a second behind Bloisy, so could close that gap. But Bloisy is on the hard compound tyres. As a spinner in the background, we have upcoming Karma. Not enjoying this track, it would seem, tonight. But again, if a safety car comes out, as we have Apache... No, we have... That's Snacks' McLaren just coming out of the pits. Back on with this group then. Tay defending hard from Alpha Matti, who with the DRS pulls out to the right-hand side. That's the inside line for turn 1 and gets that move done before the corner. That's really important. Last thing you want to do is go side by side here and risk a potential incident. And a double DRS zone out of turn 3, which means Alpha Matti still has the DRS and converts 8th place pretty comfortably. Bloisy in the background making his way past Mason. Novatek fighting his teammate here, and I think Mason has just let his teammate past on different strategies, these two. Oh, and Bloisy. Bloisy is in the wall. No front wing for Bloisy anymore. He'll need to box and pit, and that will change his strategy. He was on the hard compound tyres, which means he was probably looking to go to the end of the race. But obviously, you have to change your tyres when you go in. So, Bloisy will lose 5 seconds getting a new front wing. Will have to change strategy as well. Bloisy's impressive start to this race might have just evaporated somewhat, as Novatek makes his way past Tay. James White leads Aki by 6.4 seconds, and James White, as we speak, has just got a 3-second time penalty. Could be very crucial in deciding the outcome of this race. Ross is P3, only 1 and a bit seconds behind Aki, but don't forget he will be dropped to the very back. Novatek on a bit of a charge right now. Brand new set of medium compound tyres. Chasing down Pack. Next on his wish list is Alpha Matti as TJ comes into the pits. Novatek, you can see in the foreground there, getting past Alpha Matti as Tay defending well here from Mason and Padge. TJ Steely pitting onto hard compound tyres, upcoming Karma and Bloisy onto fresh sets of medium tyres. Those mediums will not go to the end of the race for Novatek, Karma and Bloisy. Another pit stop will have to be made. James White leads. He will be the next driver to pit. Question is when. We have a bunch of drivers. Every driver on 13 laps on those hard tyres are on identical strategies, or 10 of them, including Aki in second and Deton down in 12th. It's Mason down the inside of Tay. A little bit of lag on my screen, not too sure what is actually going on out there, but Mason, nice driving there. All clean with Tay. Unfortunately, Tay does lose P9 to Mason. Novatek hunting down Apache now, as Ross has closed in on Aki AMG and makes that move down into turn 11. Ross now second. James White crosses the line to start lap 15, almost at half race distance. No safety cars at all so far. Loisy pits. And comes out of the pits a lap down to Hissy. Loisy puts on the hard tyres once again, where he will be able to stay for the rest of the race. Now Apache comes in to fix a front wing and to put a new set of mediums on the car. So these mediums may not last another 20 laps. They might if Apache's careful with them. But a front wing change was in order for Apache. Chelsea fighting with TJ over custody of 12th place. TJ on a brand new set of hard compound tyres. Chelsea, after that early pit stop on lap 1, has old mediums on the car. I'm sure Chelsea will be hoping to keep up with TJ in this stage of the race. Not too much going out on track. We've got Mason and Tay still battling over 8th. Padge lying in wait. And Padge is singing in my ear. What a beautiful voice you have. I haven't heard anything from Ross in the last 20 minutes. Maybe he is sweating buckets. Novatek then fighting his way up the field, the only one apart from Bloisy on a 2-stop right now. But Bloisy has served his pit stops already. Novatek has one more to go. Oh, you're having a brilliant race, has to be said. Up there in 5th place right now, has a good 3-second advantage over Alpha Matti. And no penalties for IIRL, which means potentially, if a safety car comes out in the latter stages, could find himself jumping some of the top 3 who do have time penalties. Obviously, IIRL will go ahead of Ross at the end of the race. Ross, in case you've missed it, an Assist Tier 1 driver, so to keep the Assist Tier 2 championship pure and fair, Ross will be dropping to the back of the classified runners, as will Pajestic, currently running in P10. So as it stands, Ross will finish 15th and Padge in 16th. But Novatek makes that move done now, has 7 seconds of free road between him and the next car ahead, which is Hissy. Alfa Matti, let's remind ourselves, needs to win or come second this race to keep the championship alive. If he doesn't, Hissy will win the championship, and James White into the pits. We did say he was the next one in, and no surprise to see a set of hard compound tyres going on the car, and it only took Ross 18 laps to go from last to first. I'm sure everyone in chat was expecting around 10 or so laps. But Ross is a big old sweat, big alien, even though he doesn't practice. So James White is in a good spot here to potentially win this race. That time penalty has previously maybe thought that maybe Aki could get him. But Aki has the time penalty too. Hissy, if he stays within 3 seconds of Aki AMG, will jump up to second. But James White currently has the advantage. A new set of tyres on the car, which means he is now quicker than Aki and Hissy. But Aki and Hissy will be going on to a medium set of tyres for the second stint, which means they can claw back some time and start to put James White under pressure. But for this moment in the race, James White has the advantage. Brand new set of tyres. Has Alfa Matti ahead. If he can gain this lap, he will get some DRS, which Aki and Hissy do not have at this moment in time. Deaton getting past Padge into turn 1. Padge hangs it round the outside of turn 1, but doesn't get involved in turn 2. Deaton up now into the points. Lap 19 of 36, over half race distance now, and Bloisy has retired, and that is a crash in the S section. I wonder if there is going to be a safety car, and there is a full course safety car. That has changed everything. There you see Bloisy, a lap down anyway, but is now out of the race. Pit stops are happening. Left, right and centre. Ross, Aki, Hissy all into the pits now. Novatek will have to pit again, but does now lead this race. Aryo, Alfa Matti, James White into the pits, has just boxed for hard tyres. This has really cost James White a lot of time. Tay and Deaton into the pits, Padge into the pits too. All of these drivers putting on a new set of medium compound tyres. James White has wanted to go on a new set of mediums, but it's put him on the mediums he used in the first stint. That is so unfortunate. And James White, after being in control of this race, finds himself in P7 and needs to make another pit stop. That is rotten luck. Absolutely rotten luck. So everyone is on now an identical tyre strategy, with the exception of Novatek, who has to pit again, James White, who has to pit again, and Chelsea will not be able to do 16 laps on a set of soft tyres. Everyone else is now on identical tyre strategies. This has brought Apache and Chelsea right back into the fray. Chelsea does pit. Will now be a lap down though, that is quite crucial. We'll still get ahead of Padge and Ross once they're demoted. Padge, you're a troll, bro. And James White has no other option but to go onto the hard compound tyres he was just on. Oh, and has almost crossed the pit exit line. Just got a bit of snap of oversteer out of the pits, but keeps it in check. James White now comes out in P11. Obviously the field will now bunch, so it's still game on for James, but this now favours 4 drivers without a time penalty. They are your race leader Novatek, but he will have to pit again. So Novatek will probably not be winning this race here tonight. Ross is then your net leader. Aki has a time penalty too. Hissy and IIRL are in fantastic positions here for a podium as they have no time penalties next to their name, and Tay down in P8 has been defending from a lot of fast drivers behind him. He currently finds himself in P8 and with no time penalties either, as upcoming Karma down in P13 gets another time penalty. Chelsea, to get some points from a lap down, needs to hope that another 3 drivers here retire, not including Ross or Padge, as Apache trying to catch up also gets another time penalty. So lap 22 of 36, and we're just thinking about Novatek's strategy here. Those soft tyres will maybe go 10 laps if you're kind to them. So at the moment, if he were to pit, he'd have to put on a set of medium tyres. Just depends if Novatek has those medium tyres to put on the car, or whether he only has one free set of tyres left. But certainly, I'm sure Ross will look to ride into the distance. Safety car is in this lap. Novatek has the distinct privilege of leading this pack away. Safety car coming round the final couple of corners. Greg, I ran 14 laps on softs on Thursday. Maybe it is possible then. Obviously Novatek will have to hope for another safety car. And as the saying goes, safety cars cause safety cars. We may see some moves down into turn 1 that might shake up the field a little bit more. James White has had a bit of a poor exit out of the final corner. Finds himself 2 seconds adrift now of the top 10 as they're all jockeying for position into turn 1. We've got Hissy and IIRL going pretty close. IIRL trying to get past Hissy after not being past him in this race so far, as Ross then side by side with Novatek. Those two giving as much space as they can. Novatek braking later into turn 4. Ross trying to get a bit of a switch back. And what's happened to Hissy? He's being squeezed. He's being passed. He's dropped down to P8 now, Hissy. As things stand, he will still be champion. But Alfa Mati needs to finish in the top 2 to have any chance of taking this on to next week in Brazil. Ross now past Novatek and takes the lead of the race. Won't mean too much. This then has brought Aki right back into the fray as Chelsea gets a time penalty. Chelsea somewhere in that pack, but is a lap down. IIRL then on for a podium. Once Ross is dropped, IIRL will be P3, and with that time penalty, he will be ahead of Aki, who is fighting Novatek. Oh, and there's contact! And Aki is spun round. Aki trying to recover. We're on board with Aki there. It looked like there just was a bit of a nudge from Novatek, but we could not see Novatek's POV. That's Hissy and Tate, long-standing members of this league, going side by side. Good driving there from the pair of them. Hissy comes out on top. James White making his way past Padge there for P10, trying to recover after an unfortunately timed safety car, and Apache has spun. He is off in the S section. No safety car or VSC deployed. It is As You Were, Ross pulling away with a new fastest lap. He won't get the point for that. As Hissy exits the final corner, has a better line than Mason, gets ahead. Here Alpha Matti now trying to fight back on IIRL, who is looking for a move up the inside of Novatek. Aki and Deton fighting in the background. Mason with a time penalty, running in 6th as IIRL now down the inside of Novatek. Novatek hangs it round the outside, maintains 2nd place. This really is a fantastic battle as the two title contenders, Hissy and Alpha Matti, going side by side. Hissy gets past Alpha Matti, but a little nudge on IIRL allows Alpha Matti to fight back. Oh, and Alpha Matti's had a bit of a squirm. It's all happening in this S section. I can definitely see a potential crash or incident happening imminently as Hissy now pulls out alongside IIRL and goes down the inside of turn 11 and gets the move done. This is a welcome relief break for Novatek, who was defending from so many drivers a few moments ago. And this field has continued to be shaken up as Aki gets past Mason. Oh, and what's happened here? There's a lot. It looked like there's a few glitched incidents. I'm not too sure what happened there. It looked like Aki slowed down on the straight and was hit by Mason. It's all pretty confusing. Struggling to know actually what actually happened there. Maybe rewind that if you're watching the stream back and see if you can make sense of what's happened, because I certainly can't. As TJ getting pretty close to Mason. Chelsea is in this pack, trying not to get lapped, I assume. I just dropped back a bit, maybe realised that this is not the fight to be involved in. Oh, and it looks like, from what Padge is saying, had a bit of an incident with TJ. Have to wait and see if the stewards need to investigate anything. Chelsea trying not to be lapped here, but seems to be distracting Aki a touch. With that ghosted car in between him and James White in P8. So Hissy now going around the outside of Novatek into turn 2, and it looked like Hissy has had a bit of a snap, and he's made contact with Novatek. Novatek has come out of it pretty unscathed. He's lost a couple of places, but Again, we're not too sure what happened there, but we only just went on board with Hissy as he lost the rear end and made contact with Novatek, who seems to be getting out of this all right. Obviously, Novatek will still have to make another pit stop, and the question is, when will he do that? But Hissy is currently out of the points. If Alpha Mati can go first or second here, it will carry on to next week's race. However, there's a VSC out. Ross has pitted, presumably to move out of the way. IIRL then leads this race, and I'm sure after IIRL's Q2 exit we were not expecting that this evening. But there he is, and he's in a pretty good space here. He's got a very fast Alpha Mati behind him, looking to win this race and keep his championship hopes alive. If Alpha Mati finishes second, Hissy just needs to finish in the points. Oh, and Apache under that VSC that has just finished has sped on the Delta and will have a drive-through penalty. Mason has had a bit of a mare through turn 4 and has lost a couple of places. Hissy now back up to P9 and looking to fight upcoming Karma for 8th place. Ross has come out of the pits on the soft compounds, and I'm sure we'll be setting a very fast lap in the near future. Novatek has pitted in that VSC. That was a rather nicely timed VSC for Novatek, and he puts on a set of new soft tyres, but currently finds himself in 12th as IIRL is pitting. And I'm a little bit confused as to this. I wonder if this is his AI. And he's just going straight on, so I wonder if IIRL has got a drive-through as well. I will have to check Race Director. Oh, it's not letting me check it. That's a lot of warnings. And yes, IIRL did get a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC, and that has completely ruined IIRL's chance at a podium here tonight, one that he desperately deserved after a very strong showing here tonight. So that is very unfortunate for Apache and for IIRL. There comes Ross. In the foreground, James White, who was in a prime position to win this Grand Prix, or at least be on the podium earlier on. A badly timed safety car led to a James White pit stop just after he boxed for new tyres. The game put him on the wrong set of mediums, so forced James White to put on the hard compound tyres for this stint. And these two safety cars, plus a few pit stops and mistakes here and there, have actually allowed James to claw back up to P4. He's under pressure from Ross, but Ross obviously will be dropped to the back of the standings, the classified results at the end of the race. As James White putting up a good fight here against Ross. But Ross just has the grip to go around the outside there. Chelsea looking to unlap herself. as James White is off. Oh, and I don't know if that was contact or maybe just a spin at the final corner there, but he's into the pits alongside upcoming Karma. Karma serving a time penalty. James White fixing the front wing and putting softs on the car. Same story for Karma. So I'm going to have to do some maths now in this final 5 laps. Alfa Mati is leading this race, but Tate is within 6 seconds. Which means Tate is on for the race win. It's been a very confusing race, I have to say. There's been a few incidents where we're not too sure what's happened. Obviously a couple of safety cars, a full safety car and the virtual safety car as Aki looks down the inside of Deaton. I don't know if Deaton lost that or if there was contact with Aki, but Aki has carried on. And Deaton has lost a bit of ground. Hissy now, after being 12th a few laps ago, is back up to 5th place here and is not too far behind Aki, which means he will, as things stand, be promoted to P4, and as things stand, Hissy will be this Tier 2 champion for Season 3. Tate has lost a little bit of ground on Alfa Mati here. He's lost 1.5 seconds in the last lap. But still, just needs to be clean for the next 4 laps. Tate will be hoping that Ross can overtake pretty quick here so that Tate doesn't lose too much ground on Alfa Mati. It's a pretty hard defence here from Tate. Ross will be dropped to the back, so Tate doesn't need to fight too hard. But maybe Tate doesn't know that. Even so, Ross has the 3-second time penalty. As Deaton, what's happened to Deaton? Just dropping a couple of places there. Losing a lot of time to Mason. So Ross has the DRS. Now has the 2nd place. And if Tate can ride along on Ross's coattails for a few laps, as Apache in Sector 2 in the S section is around and just getting back up to speed again. It's not been Apache's race. Maybe this isn't a track that Apache is a fan of. 15 seconds of time penalties plus a couple of spins and mistakes here and there. Tate here just needs to stay within 6 seconds of Alfa Mati. Gap currently stands at 4 seconds. McLaren going slowly. Apache has retired out on track. A bit naughty. And I believe did so in qualifying, so it might be a double penalty against Apache there. No battles really happening out on track now. No one is within DRS range of the car ahead of them. Which means, let's have a look at the gap from the leader's perspective. Chelsea is a lap down, so she's not 57 seconds behind. I'm not too sure what that glitch is all about. But Chelsea is a lap down. Hissy then. Zaki gets another time penalty, 9 seconds now in total. That's going to drop Aki to maybe P7 behind, no, P6 behind Novitek. So potentially that could have been quite a costly thing. Oh, and Tay there was on for the race win and has had a mistake out of the final corner and has now dropped back. And again, we're not too sure if that's an unforced error. Or maybe just struggling on the tyres. Novitek now pursuing on the softs. Tay, oh, and Novitek has hit Tay. Has got a time penalty. It looked like Tay had a bit of a late move under braking zone there, but we'll have to slow down that footage to see what actually happened there. But it looked like Novitek pulled out alongside, went for the move. A slight bit of movement from Tay. I'm not sure Novitek could avoid that contact, but was it a dive bomb attempt too late? Tay has dropped to 7th. Should get ahead of Mason on time penalties. Might get ahead of Novitek, but just have to wait and see. There's a few little mistakes creeping in. Pressure is now ramping up. Alpha Mati is on the final lap of the race. Obviously Ross will win on time penalties, but will be dropped to the back. Hissy will go ahead of Aki on time penalties and will finish in 2nd place. But Alpha Mati has done everything that he needed to do. He is currently winning this race, which he needed to do. But Hissy needed to finish in the top 5. And he's running P4 and will finish P2 at the end of the race. Padge will drop down to 13th. And Ross, Padge will be 14th, sorry, and Ross will be 13th. Chelsea will be 12th. Upcoming Karma will be 11th, which means TJ Steely currently is in the final points spot. The fireworks are going off. Alpha Mati will take the race win in Mexico. But it's going to be Hissy's championship. He's led start to finish. It's been a brilliant race from Alpha Mati. Aki will come across the line to finish on track in 2nd. But will lose out to Hissy, who wins the championship in Assist Tier 2 for Season 3. Novitek finishes in P4 ahead of his teammate Mason. Tay, with no time penalties there, will jump to P5, and IIRL, after that unfortunate drive-through penalty, will finish in 6th. Still a cracking result though for IIRL. Mason will drop then to 7th. Deton will finish 8th. Padge will drop out of the points. James White will finish in 9th, and TJ will finish in 10th. Upcoming Karma and Chelsea are a lap down. Chelsea looked like she was doing some donuts for us, and is indeed doing some donuts for the stream. Well, it has been an absolute whirlwind of a race. It's been a fantastic season, really. There has been only 2 contenders. Alpha Mati joining the league this season a little bit later than the rest. Imagine what could have happened if Alpha Mati was here a bit earlier. But Hissy has been just a step ahead of the rest of the fields. Doesn't win here in Mexico, but he didn't need to. Hissy is your Season 3 Assist Tier 2 champion. Alpha Mati, I'm sure if he was here more races this season, it would have been a closer fight. Chelsea treating us here to more donuts than I'm sure the police force could eat in a week. Next week we are in Brazil for the final sprint race of the year, short quali, sprint race and feature race. And all three drivers' champions have been crowned already. Ross was crowned last week in the USA. Josh was crowned on Thursday night in Assist Tier 1. And Hissy is crowned here this evening. As for the constructors, well, Alphamati claws some points back on Hissy in the Constructors' Championship, and that gap is now reduced to 15 points, so it's all to play for in the Constructors. But Hissy, 82 champion for Season 3. Many congratulations, and Alphamati, congratulations on the race win. My driver of the day today is... I mean, there's not many people that didn't put a foot wrong here. Everyone had some kind of issue in this race. So it's really hard to give a driver of the day. I'm going to give driver of the day to Aryo. Sometimes there are glitches with the drive-through penalties, and potentially it could have been a false penalty, but certainly not someone you'd expect to see up on the podium there, but certainly a very, very good race. And I like to give driver of the day to different abilities, different paces and that kind of stuff. Obviously special mentions Alphamati, Hissy for keeping it clean, Tay for keeping it clean, and Novitek as well. And that two-stop strategy, not an easy feat to do, but certainly made it work in the end for P4. Special mentions up and down the field. James White, what could have been a potential race win here today, but a mix of one mistake plus a bad pit stop from the game on his perspective could have been so much different here tonight. So then, it's been an absolute pleasure commentating on AT2 this season, and to see the champion crowned is always a special thing. Well done once again, Hissy. And Season 4 is going to be really close, I'm sure, as this season has been. As we said, next week, round 21 of 22, all the Drivers' Championships have been decided, but some Constructors' Championships are still to play for, so make sure you tune in next week. For Brazil, we have a short quali, 18 minutes for all tiers next week, plus a sprint race and a feature race. You don't want to miss it. It's always pretty hectic at Brazil, and it's usually pretty exciting on the action as well. Thank you to everyone who's been in the chat, and we'll see you on Tuesday night